what do you call it now? Can you look at the letter after? I know my exams results can be. Can I have mics, please, colleagues? Okay, so we give. Huh? Yeah, so you read together.
Funding obligations undertaken, training to be demand-led, resulting in employment and or entrepreneurial opportunities, and creation of jobs, and business support opportunities targeted and regularly as required. This pledge in order to set by the project in relation to our vision and mitigating unemployment, supporting unemployed people and contributing to the growth and development.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, you need someone to help you move the table here. Now, I just want one rep from each institution to come down and sign the pledge. One rep from institution to. So you come this way and then you come back. Okay, come back, sir. Excuse me, sir. Can you come back? Okay, we can take a picture with the minister. Oh. I forgot to sit.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Are we done now? Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Premier. I think wait. It simplified the process. So, colleagues, a representative, a representative from each institution, you go down that way and you sign the pledge and you go to your seat. You can go that side, one by one. Please, just one by one so that we have order. The same way that we're doing graduation. Oh, okay. You can call them figures, you can sign. We'll do it this way. Thank you. Next one. You can go sit in figures. Your colleagues, please come this way. We just need to have order. You can go sit. One at a time. Just one at a time. Oh yeah, yes, you're right. Just stand here. Thank you. Thulas, wait, Thulas. I need them line up. Hi, colleagues, you are clapping for me. Can you clap for the service providers? Okay, I'm going to move swiftly to the testimonials. Come through, sir. These are the people who have been through the program, and he's going to tell us how he's benefited from this program. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning specifically to the Minister of Department of Labor and also all protocol observed. My name is Usipo Komo from Child Consulting. We are the training provider who are funded by Department of Leadership. We train for accommodation, cleaning and hygiene, plant production, poultry production, and poultry processing, and roadworks. This qualification is an ideally qualification for the needs of Makana. So we also have a beneficiary that we accompany us as a service provider. This is training there, and also I think them also they're gonna receive opportunity. Maybe for them to share their testimony, because we are the training provider, we can say good things about the training because we are funded. But them, we brought them today so that they can give, we would say, these projects have been impactful to them, how. But all in all, as a training provider, as a HR consulting, we're really grateful for this opportunity to train these young people from Makana municipality. I thank you.
Thank you. Sir, you're next. Let's keep it here.
Good morning, everyone. My name is David. My surname is Lamborghini. Apologies, I'm going to restart. Good morning, everyone. My name is David. My surname is Lamborghini. I work for the Kucha Development Corporation in Port Elizabeth within the Special Economic Zone. I'm the training manager. But before I continue, I'd like to observe protocol and greet the Minister, the Deputy Minister, the DG, and also our Premier and also the Commissioner. Now, I don't like to refer to our funding agreement. I would like to refer it as a partnership. Now, the CDC, difficult time in our history. It was around about 2019, the beginning of COVID-19. We had to reset and we had to change a lot of our planning. But eventually we got it right at a later stage in 2020, somewhere in July, August, where we could really now do justice to the program. We started to train, and now to date, I can account that we still got about 90% of those learners in the system from the 335. Some of the artisan learners is now due for trade test within the next 2 or 3 months. From the 200 learners in the learnership for the professional driver learnership program at NQF level 3, with credit bearing around about 142 credits, the internal moderations has been completed for those learners, and they will be very soon certificated by September or October this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let me acknowledge protocol to the Honorable Minister, Honorable Deputy Minister, Honorable Premier, and of course, all protocol observed. My name is Ayanda Ndinise. I'm from the East London IDZ. I've been requested to be very brief in terms of the training program that we facilitated. In 2019-2020, we were appointed to implement a learnership program for 90 learners, focusing on automotive manufacturing and assembly, as well as electrical engineering. I must say that out of the group, we had about 60% females, as well as 98% of the participants were youth, and 74% were absorbed into the employment opportunities. So part of what we do, we facilitate opportunities in terms of employment, but also for the participants to gear them towards entrepreneurship. So we really appreciate the opportunity provided by the department to partner with us as East London IDZ, and we're also grateful that going forward, we will also implement similar opportunities, for the benefit of our communities. Thank you so much.
Come. Okay, the next two candidates come together. Now, these two young people are our beneficiaries of the program. They're going to tell us how has the program assisted them in their own lives to change their livelihood. We can start with you, ma'am.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Amanda Kwaza, all the way from Butterworth. I would like to greet the DG, the Deputy Minister, the Minister, and all protocols observed. I am the beneficiary of the program under the organization called SADICO that recruited us as 500 youth in the Eastern Cape, whereby we were empowered with digital skills, technology, and entrepreneurship. The program has empowered us so much. As I'm speaking to you now, I am the CEO of my own company. My company is called Kwaza Digital Solutions, and last year I was nominated by an African institution as the founder of the year, and all this is coming from this. And all these achievements are coming from being the beneficiary of this program. Thank you. One last thing, I do believe that because I align with the vision of the Department of Labor and UIF, that next time my company will be one of the service providers. Thank you.
Yay.
Very nice. Very nice. Good morning. Igama lam nguSivuyile Chithwa. Coming from the small town of Makhanda. I am one of the beneficiaries that Uputsipo from Earthchild was speaking about. Since the beginning of the year, Earthchild was able to, or is currently enabling more than 1.5 unemployed youth in Grahamstown with opportunities that they will be able to sustain themselves through creating their own employment, or actually ufumana umsebenzi, which is a big struggle that we're fighting as a youth of South Africa. But with having these opportunities, we have seen a lot more job opportunities coming about in Grahamstown. He mentioned doing a course called water and sanitation, which is a big problem that we're facing in Grahamstown. So to have a program that is educating people within the town on how to be able usnika amanzi that are sustainable for human consumption is brilliant. So I'd like to thank the department. I'd like to thank everyone else who's involved in providing this opportunity for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This is us just saying to the Eastern Cape community, this project is real. It has real people, real human beings. I mean, that young lady was saying, next time she'll be sitting among the service providers who will be saying, I want to change South Africa. As I'm stepping off, I just want to close on one item. Now, you might be here, maybe you thought you were going to get your letter as a service provider and you didn't get your letter. We are not done. We have over 233 service providers that we are processing right now. But we didn't want to wait to launch the programs. We didn't want to wait to let the Eastern Cape community know that we are busy with this program and we are launching. So as soon as we are processing, we came now, we are announcing the 12 that were successful. It doesn't mean those that are not announced are not successful. And it doesn't mean you're successful either. So you could be one of the two. But that time will come when you communicate. We're actually discussing now with the minister earlier and the premier that when you do the jobs fairs, we'll also be announcing people, other service providers who are getting their letters. But if you didn't get any letter, you'll get either a regret or an approval letter, that's for sure. But that should happen before the end of May. That's our drive. I think on that note, I would like to hand over to the Deputy Minister to continue with the rest of the program.
Thank you so much. Let's give the Commissioner a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Well, he's the bearer of good news, so we need to be happy and excited. Now I'm bringing up the stage the delicious one, dear the delicious. Masimamkeleni bandla upremier wetu. The taste of the pudding is in the eating. Our premier, come with your remarks.
So I suspect this thing of delicious is in Pretoria. Thank you very much, Comrade Pingi, the Deputy Minister, the Program Director. Thank you. I hope that I'm audible now. And then, Minister says I'll tell you, but the message is there. Greetings to the Minister, Honorable Minister, Wagwa Employment and Labor, Comrade Thulas, the MMC, Councillor Helen Neil May, representing the Executive Mayor of Buffalo City, and all other representatives of mayors here. I heard about Councillor Madigane, surely from Amatole, District Municipality, representing Mayor, and all other mayors that might be here. The Director General of the Department, Umamgwev, and the Acting DG, Walape Provincial, Umamnune, the UIF Commissioner, and all other government officials in our midst, service providers, and the entire business sector present here, distinguished guests, good morning, all of you. Minister, siyanamkela apha ephondweni lengwele negqiza lakho xa nizokuphehlelela iphulo likarhulumente elibizwa ngokuba yi-Labour Activation Program. Asiqali ukuyiva le nkqubo ye-LAP apha e-Eastern Cape, kudala siqhuba kwaye siyaqhuba. Let me take this opportunity, Minister, as well, before I go further, to congratulate you, Minister, for winning the case this morning. Indeed, lies have short legs. And we're quite happy that we're going to be continuously exposing these mischievous elements that seeks to derail us in doing the work that we're doing in government. Thank you, Minister. We appreciate that. The Provincial Department of Labor has been implementing this program, Minister, in the past few years, though at a very, very small scale. Since 2019, more than 2,700 people, both young and old, have benefited from the lab employability projects implemented in our province. As we speak, we have people who were capacitated with skills in digital migration and solar installations. We have beneficiaries who participated in the driving skills program, while others are now possessing certificates in plumbing, welding, joinery, and bricklaying. I can tell you now that the future of all the people who have already benefited from the lab is brighter because of the skills and empowerment they've received. Thank you very much, Minister. And now we are appreciating that you are massifying this program so that we go big and large. Yes, of course, we know the delays, as the DG was explaining. I still wanted to appeal for agility in government system, for quicker turnaround time. This province has got so many people unemployed out there. We've been working hard on actually reducing the high unemployment for the last 4 quarters or so. It was just the last quarter that we saw the turn of events where the high unemployment was also picking up the rise. But we believe that the work that we're doing in our province is actually helping us to make sure that we are on a downward spiral trend in addressing the challenge of high unemployment. Of course, the high unemployment is linked to underdevelopment, and the underdevelopment is linked to skill shortages. If we are dealing with the skills challenge, we'll be able to address some of these kind of chronic problems that are really appearing to be an albatross around our necks as a province. Our experience, Honorable Minister, therefore tells us that the lab is necessary intervention that we need in our province to close the skills gap and increase chances of employment of our people. The lab augmented other skills programs that we implemented with SETAs in the past 5 years, which benefited 29,000 people in our province. Very soon, we'll be launching a massive skills project with MESETA, which will benefit more than 10,000 young people. Ndingatsho ukuba sisengela thongeni linye ukuxhobisa abantu bakuthi ngezakhono nezixhobo ezingundoqo khona ukuze babe negalelo nenxaxheba kuphuhliso lephondo. Uba besifana neza provinces zincinci zingekho vast, you could have organized people into the stadium, but in the province you've got to travel about 800 kilometers from south to north, 800 kilometers from east to west, so it's not an easy thing. But as we are going to be moving out, devolving or cascading the program down to districts, you'll be able to see these warm bodies on the ground, hard at work, benefiting from these programs. My only unhappiness, Honorable Minister, with the implementation of the previous lab in the province is that it was implemented mainly in the urban centers. As a result, it benefited mostly people in Nelson Mandela and Buffalo City. That is something I hope will not be repeated in this massified lab that you are bringing to the province today. The unemployment and skills challenge in the province is rife in Alfred Nzo and Owari Tambo districts. Those are 2 poorest districts in the entire country, as number 1 and number 2. This is where our biggest challenge is. We cannot therefore leave behind people from those rural districts in initiatives of this nature. Doing that would perpetuate the very narrative we want to change, which says to have opportunities in life, people from rural districts must move to urban centers. I'm therefore pleading with your department, Honorable Minister, to ensure that the lab reaches people in our rural areas. I'm quite aware that 6,000 people will benefit from this program in Christiani district. Similar numbers would be appreciated for Alfred Nzo, Owari Tambo district and Joe Kabi. Our people residing in those districts also deserve the opportunity enjoyed by the people in the urban centers. Honorable Minister, as you would know, the Eastern Cape has the highest unemployment rate in the country. We have young and old people of working age who are not in the labor market. We have a cohort of young people who are not in education, employment, or training. Then we have unemployed graduates who are frustrated at home, not knowing what the future holds. This requires extraordinary intervention from the government to avert the deepening of the high unemployment rate. I'm happy to inform this audience, Honorable Minister, that we are much more focused on skills development in this province. Yesterday, Minister Blade Nzimande was in Stegspruit opening a new engineering TVET campus, Yasekala. We have also signed an agreement valued at 400 million for skills development between the Office of the Premier and the National Skills Fund. The President will be in the province on the 24th of April to launch phase 5 of EPWP. I agree with you, Minister. This program must actually neatly dovetail into what we are doing with the EPWP program. In the past 5 years, we have created over 400,000 work opportunities through the EPWP in the Eastern Cape. Nelson Mandela Metro will also be launching its 56,000 EPWP job opportunities by the end of this month. VW Africa Group, Minister, just launched a few days ago a 4 billion investment which will also lead to new jobs. I'm demonstrating to you that work is happening to get our people into employment. I know very soon we'll be introducing another new kid in the block in the manufacturing industry or the auto sector. The Stellantis Minister is coming back to introduce additional 3 billion, which will be also done in the Gqeberha area, where we'll be able to introduce this new generation of cars. Volkswagen was launching a new third generation of their cars. So the new car, which will have an African flavor, they are working on the name. It will be a car, an SUV, that will be focused, that will be targeting the market in our continent. So we're definitely doing a lot of work to turn around the socio-economic fortunes of our province to the beneficiation of our people. Minister, 1.9 billion is a lot of money, or the investment minister you are bringing to our province. Today, I'm told this 1.9 billion, you'll say it better than me, for the lab initiatives. And for us, this is a bold intent, which we believe that it needs to be supported. With over 56,000 people set to benefit from this program, we are bound to see a rise in the employability of our people and a much needed drop in the high unemployment rate in future. We like the fact that the lab is not only focused on training and employability, it is also focusing on entrepreneurship. We have heard the young lady who was speaking here indicating how she has actually developed herself. We desperately need to empower people with entrepreneurial skills to be employment creators for the future. Minister, 1.9 billion is a lot of money. If used prudently and for what is intended for, it will have a huge positive impact in the lives of our people. I sincerely hope that the service providers that have been chosen to implement this program are up to the task and understand the strategic importance of lab in the bigger picture of socio-economic transformation. I'm happy that they were pledging themselves, they read the pledge out to them. We know that in this country, when the government tries to do something positive, some see an opportunity to make quick riches. We saw this behavior in the tears during the COVID-19 pandemic with companies making fraudulent claims. We do not want to hear stories of fraudulent claims and ghost beneficiaries in this lab initiative in our province. We want real people that we can identify to be trained. Therefore, transparency is going to be pivotal in recruiting participants for this program so that it resonates with the people in our communities. I suggest that measures must be put in place to conduct outreach campaigns for recruitment in rural districts because people, they lack the connectivity to do online application. I've promised them that I will visit their companies, their centers, so that I see it myself. I also suggest that strong monitoring systems must be put in place throughout the implementation of this program. We do not want to hear about beneficiaries not getting stipends and training not happening because that would taint the entire credibility of this lab initiative in the eyes of the public. So Chiloge DG, wacela uxolo. Sicinga ke ngoku ready to make sure that the tire hits the tar and we also hit the ground running. This lab initiative can be a game changer if we implement it correctly with all hands on the deck. I like the fact that the Eastern Cape lab is based towards training people in the agricultural skills. This morning, esinye isikolo, umnye principal wesinye isikolo bekende asihambela undithumelele program abayenzayo pha ye-agriculture apho balima khona. Uthi ngoku they are supplying amaqanda, veg to the community. Sisikolo, it's just a high school. So I mean programs like those, we need to link up and integrate schools like those. So when I deserve a tractor principal, I will definitely have to find a tractor and bring a tractor into that school so that we make agriculture practical. So I'm happy to see these faces. I'm familiar, Minister, with these faces that you were giving letters today. I'm almost familiar with them. I kind of knowing almost everyone in the Eastern Cape because I talk to everybody. I'm not a premier of protocol. So everybody who's busy out there, I'm likely to know you. And if I go busy, anduzukwazi banduzukuyela kwakho ngelishwa. Ndakubona ngo to door. Xa ndiyofuna ivoti njengokuba niyazi uba ndishekelwe 40 days xa ndiqashiwe. Ningathanda uba ndindibone ningaqeshwanga nanini andiqondi right lot. So it's only 40 days in this employment. Nina ke nisayina new contracts, you are better than me. With those few words, Honorable Minister and the Program Director, we appreciate and support the implementation of LAP in our province. We sincerely hope it will be embraced by all participants and partners, honestly and with honesty and integrity, being our guiding principles to make sure that all stakeholders are really taking this program quite seriously. We want to see more impact to the ordinary people. Benditheke, Honorable Minister, and with all these programs that are being brought forward, we need to go out, sibaqokelela bonke abasestratweni sibagalele college. Minister Blade Nzimande will be launching a college pha eNtabankulu that will be starting training on cannabis. They are putting 80 million to invest in that college, which will be built by end of this financial year. There's just a massive lot of things that are happening here. Phaya eMsikaba naseMthentu. So keep bridges eziyi-2 phaya. It's an 8 billion project. We're working on the green field, also as well as on the brown field, connecting the road. What I like most is going to improve the logistics. They say to me, the engineers, the road that we're building is going to cut it distance here trucks by almost 3 hours between Durban and East London. Utomnyumama phaya oyi-beneficiaries ohlalisa engineers. Undibonisa indaba phaya uthi ndizawukokha phaa iTable Mountain Hotel. Abantu bayibone le bridge. Already we've got a cable car that crosses over Msikaba. I was there about 2 weeks ago. Exciting moments that are happening. We're improving all our road infrastructure in the province, the major national and provincial road, to make sure that we improve the logistics and improve our economy. So we're very hard on that. Our interest, Minister, is to focus on microeconomics. We're leaving the macroeconomics with you. In microeconomics, we talk firms, we talk factories, we talk our people waking up in their homes, going to work. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause, guys. I mean, limvile umphathiswa. I mean, wepondo ukuthi uthini. Please let us not fight over these things, these resources. So uzoba lipolisa lenu ke azolipolisa ukuthi niyenza umsebenzi all right. I must say, Minister Premier, we have among others in this hall stakeholders from COSATU, SANCO, ANC, SACP. We've got people from business chambers who are here and community organizations. So I needed to acknowledge them. Please, my apologies that I didn't acknowledge you earlier on. But Okwangoku, ladies and gentlemen, without wasting any more time, I'm going to call upstage umphathiswa wethu, uteacher omkhulu. Akathandi ke sifunde ke i-obituary yakhe, uthi i-obituary masibekele xa esefile engesekho, uthi inde kakhulu le obituary yakhe, but nguteacher omkhulu. Uke waba usekela mphathiswa kaloku waqala khona, but over and above that uke waba umphathiswa pha sports, arts and culture. waba umphathiswa public works ukufikela azoba umphathiswa apha kuthi employment and labor, and ezinye zikhona nakhona ungutolo yena ungudlangamandla umchenge utata uThulas Nxesi.
Bengike ndamamela uDiya ndiva ngoku uDeputy Minister endithutha andiyazi uba uzifumana apha ezi ziduko esuka ngapha eNorthwest. uDiya ke ndike ndamamela uba ngathi kufuneka enzele utsiki kweli cala kwenzela uba abe nendawo azozinza. Andazi ke ngoku. Thank you very much, Program Director, Deputy Minister, and the Commissioner. Let me recognize the Honorable Premier Mabuyane, recognize the representatives of the Mayor, Comrade Helen. We're coming from far. You remember our program. Comrade, do you remember our program? We've had a serious program with Comrade Helen whilst I was still at Public Works for the council. I don't think that program should collapse. These are some of the programs which should be integrated. They are very helpful. Let me also recognize the other councillors from the Buffalo City and other municipalities who are present with us, the senior government officials who are with us, starting with the acting DG of Employment and Labor and the acting DG of the province, Umamnune Ranzi, the UIF Commissioner, Tebogo Maruping, and all the senior officials from the Departments of Employment and Labor, from higher education, science and innovation, small business development, and other departments and government entities. The leadership of the political parties, the business, the trade unions and community organizations, the exhibitors who might be here, from the government, from the agencies, from entities and partners from the private sector. But our very important guests, the few young people who are here, we're still going to go and talk to the young people in the province in terms of our careers and jobs fairs. We've done them in other areas. We're still going into the other areas. Ungabi nochuku ke Diya. Ikhona efuneka ibheke Alfred Nso. Ngathi kodwa ifune ibonwe imatatiyela andazi ngoba kutheni. Ndiyanibulisa ke nonke ephondweni. We are here to launch the lab up ephondweni. Uthe ke uDiya siyayipehlelela. Siyabonga kakhulu ubukho benu nensebenziswano nephondo ngokukodwa ke le office kaPremier namagosa akhe. It's opportune time, or it's opportune that in this Freedom Month, which is April, we gather here with Khayale Legends to mark the 30 years of democracy, partnership and growth. We're here in the Eastern Cape today to launch this unemployment insurance fund labor activation program, expanded plans to further strengthen the employment creation, the job preservation and demand-led training. That is the measures to mitigate unemployment in our country. In KZN, we said, Stesha wire wire. That is their slogan. But it's Tesh, wire wire. Which means we want to create sustainable jobs. And in Gauteng we said, Nasi Span. There was no slogan in the Western Cape, Comrade Premier. But we launched the program, and very well. We did it in Belleville. I'm not sure Bastini ke apha ekhaya. Acting DG sithini apha ekhaya. Oh, hayi ke kudala uDS itsho ethi siyaqhuba. So ke sivume ukuthi siyaqhuba ngentoni ngemisebenzi. Senza ntoni? Yes, masibamba apha. The labor activation program was established in response to the economic downturn of 2008. The initiative was aimed to mitigate job losses through the collaboration with the partners at Netlek. Those board members who were recognized here are from the Netlek partners. They've been chosen by Netlek. There are 12 of them. One from business, one from labor. Not one, 3. And 3 from community. And 3 from government departments to make 12. The only one I choose is the chairperson of the board. So even this program was an agreement at Netlek. So at the end of the day, only substantial economic growth and development will rescue the country from the unacceptably high unemployment rate. But in the meantime, we also believe that government, working with all the stakeholders, has a major role to play in mitigating unemployment and creating and preserving jobs. So the decision of government to massify skills development and job creation in response to the persistent high levels of unemployment and sluggish economic growth utilizes the LEP platform. This expanded to pool the resources across the department and entities and to partner with the private sector. Oxabam ke enqhuba nabo kule program. The Minister of Higher Education, Umpepeto, Unzimand. The Minister of Small Businesses, Umanyausa. Siyaqhuba bayaphithizela apha ephondweni, bayaphithizela nakwamanye amaphondo. Sibheka ngapha nangapha, we're talking programs. We're working together. Significant strides. Maybe the funding model for the current expanded LEP provides a sliding scale of funding support for programs with 70% of partners contributing and a maximum 30% being non-contributors. That is receiving 100% in terms of our UIF LEP funding. So LEP is also supporting projects across government departments and entities, some of them on a rent-to-rent funding basis. For instance, under Minister Stella Ndabeni-Abrams, we're working with her entities where they are giving a rent-to-rent. If they give 3 billion, we also give 3 billion to massify those resources, to expand the resources. As a result, when we implement, there's a bigger impact. Same with Minister Nzimande, who's responsible for the Skills Fund. The ITC and the Department of Basic Education to recruit and pay salaries for assistant teachers to employ over 200,000 unemployed graduates as part of the Presidential Youth Employment Stimulus. It's one example. Andizutsho ke ndiya uba iyabuya la program. Kodwa ndiyazi uba nathi sifakile mos. Hayi sifake kakhulu. Ingathi kufuneka ibuya ndiyazi eka president ke leyo. Well, significant strides have already been made. This includes initiatives and programs from a number of government departments led by the presidents, and most notable those undertaken with our partners in the private sector through the labor activation programs. We remain deeply indebted to the private business for their willingness to work side by side with the government in this enormous task of employment creation across the various sectors and industries. And key to the success of the collaboration with the private sector has been the UIF, which continues to fund labor activation programs through the collections of contributions from the employers and employees, and revenue generated from the investment in order to meaningfully contribute to alleviation of poverty and unemployment in the country. The UIF is best known for paying unemployment and maternity benefits, but the UIF Act gives it much larger mandate to mitigate. And this includes the temporary employer-employee relief scheme, which Utia referred to, which is administered now. But there are two types of TERS. There's that temporary scheme, which was given to the workers and were to pay 64 billion, which was given to the workers during the time of the COVID. We're talking about another TERS now, which is for the distressed companies and the businesses turnaround and recovery program of the Productivity South Africa. Those are two of our entities. Xa kunenkampani ezincwilayo zinabasebenzi noko abaninzi ekuzawuthi kuvakale xa ezisiwa, sihlale phansi nazo, kodwa kufuneka sivule incwadi zazo zonke. Sibonisana into yoba singakuncedisa njani into yokokuba kule minyakana okanye kwezi nyangana ezilithoba ukuya kwi-12, singakunceda njani uba sithathe isixa sibhatale abasebenzi ngeli xesha ke wena usahlengahlengisa. But kufuneka sibe siyijongile. Zininzi ke inkampani esenze loo nto kuzo. Nangoku nivile ngale nto yokuvalwa kweposi. Siyathetha ke phaya, kodwa ke leya ikhokhelwe nguMinister Gungubele kuba ikwelinye isebe. Kodwa ke siyathetha kuba asizuthula kwicala labasebenzi nathi xa sibona abasebenzi bedendwa. Yona ke yawuthi kipapashwe nguMinister uGungubele uba ihamba njani. Kodwa siyijongile ngamehlo abomvu uba singabanceda njani aba basebenzi abayi-6,000. Inkcukacha ke andizazi ngoba ayikho phansi kwam. What is very key is that we're dealing with the training of the unemployed for employment. We're supporting enterprise development and entrepreneurship, economic growth and job creation through social investment. Siphendula aba ke diya abathi ayingomsebenzi wethu wokutraina abantu uba bafumane imisebenzi. Kodwa we're declared by the president in this term, not just as a minister or Ministry of Labor, but as a Ministry of Employment and Labor. Which means, therefore, we have to coordinate, or we have to put the labor policies together. We're putting now an employment policy. We're also putting a labor migration policy, how to control Le ngxaki esinayo yokokuba abaqeshi bathathe abantu bangaphandle abangekho mthethweni babaqeshe kwiindawo ezininzi bebaxhaphaza bayeka abantwana bethu abangenamsebenzi. So the labor migration policy is coming very hard. Sabe sithetha ngee-quotas ngoku. Nani nilapha sanukhombe balungwini nibe niqasha abantu baselusuthu nabantu basezemu phaya emakhitshini wenu niyeka aba bethu. Kutheni niyibona xa iya kwaba kweza nkampani ningayiboni le nto eniyenzayo nini? Bazayifumana phi imisebenzi abantu bakuthi? So we were trying to say, let's control that. Ibhlungu because even in the retail, i-West get here, kwi-security. Abantu abaphethe imipu emikhulu. Abanye ngabantu bangaphandle. Uyakwazi mos uba enze ubukrelemnqa apha aphuma baleka sinayo nee-fingerprints asinakwanto. Samfumana phi? It's very, very critical. It's threatening the security of the country. These are the issues which we'll be talking about together with the security class. There might be security issues, but there are also employment issues. So, enye into esizama uyiphendula diya, yile nto ethi asina mandate yokwenza le nto esiyenzayo. Ndibonile ke omnye ubhalile apha, ndiyazi noba yi-fake news, uba sebe-reporte upresident kwi-public protector into yokokuba uthatha imali ye-public wenza ngayo imisebenzi, hayi i-campaign leyo ye-ANC. Sithe xa siphendula ke sathi thina, uba ngaba sinesi sihelegu sokungabikho kwemisebenzi, kuba sisihelegu esi. And the reason, and all economists are saying, all of them, the major part of our unemployment cause is structural, which means it's the lack of the skills which the labor market wants. Ngoku ke, if it's the lack of skills, who is responsible to train our young people? Are we not responsible to train our young people in order to get the jobs? Ingathi ke abayazi le nto abayithethayo. Sizawuqhuba ke sisenza le nto yokuqeqesha abantwana bethu kwizakhono ukuze bakwazi ukufumana imisebenzi. Kuba uba ngaba thina asibatreyini, who's going to train them? Yiyo ke le nto sisebenzisana noMinister Nzimande. But we've gone further. Abanye abafuna utrainwa into yokokuba bayofuna umsebenzi. Bafuna utrainwa into yokokuba babe ngosomashishini abancinci. Small businesses. Simvile apha ethetha umntana omncinci. Uba usuka phi uneyakhe ikhampani. Baninzi kamanye funeka sibafundise how to run those small businesses from basic accounting out on. Xa sisithi isupport ayithethi into bafuneka sivele sinikeze nje imali singayazi babantu bayiqhuba njani. Yiyo ke le nto we've combined with small businesses. Uyaqhuba kumanyawuza uMinister we-Small Business Development. Uyaqhuba noNzimande. But also, uPresident says it can't be that employment and labor yenze yayi program, higher education yenze yayi program, enye department yenze yayi program, department ye telecommunication yenze yayi program, ziyagxalathelana nje, they are not talking to each other. The president has insisted that there must be integration and coordination. That integration of programs and coordination must be both horizontal and vertical, which means amongst the department at the top, the programs must talk to each other to make impact. But also, we must talk to all the levels of government. That's why I was saying, uPremier funeka zazi zonke ezi programs. But those people who are going to be appointed to be part of those programs are working in the districts. The district municipalities must be able to follow these programs. So that issue of that synergy is going to be very, very important. And if we do that, there's going to be that synergy. There's going to be that massification of the skills. By the way, this is based on the economic recovery and reconstruction plan, which the president announced 3 years ago. If you said, there are about 5 or 6 pillars. We said the energy security is very key. Once we sort out this issue of the energy, a number of companies would be able to operate properly. UTIA has done a lot to be practical, to talk to the companies as it is yahamba, uba makulungiswe le nto ye-electricity. That's why the president went to the extent of having a specific ministry to focus on this, nothing else. So the issue of energy security can be able to create lots of jobs because a lot of companies will come back, will be able to operate. But we also talked about infrastructure. Infrastructure, those are massive jobs. Funeka qhumuthule everywhere. Whether you're talking dams, you're talking roads, everything you're talking about on the infrastructure, you're talking housing. Those are massive jobs. But also industrialization, which says we must manufacture and we must localize in order to create jobs. But we've also talked about small businesses are very critical. 80% of the jobs are created by small businesses world over. They're not created by the big companies. But also, one of the pillars we've set is the massification of public employment programs and massification of skills. And we're responding to priority 1 in the ANC manifesto. The right ANC manifesto and the Mosh. So we're responding to priority 1 in that manifesto. I'm talking about the ruling party. But colleagues, the labor activation programs are not a silver bullet to end the challenge of unemployment, but they are a viable force multiplier that can be used together with the other initiatives and interventions as part of the government response to mitigate unemployment. The sectors and industries that will contribute significantly to the creation of the opportunities include economic growth and in-demand sectors such as agriculture, ICT, construction, engineering, manufacturing, education, transport, mining. I can mention a number of them. There are almost 22 sectors which we are focusing on. There's a question of when we talk about small business, the hairdressing and beauty industry iphethwe ngabantu bangaphandle ngaba bayenzayo. Bapha bethu abantwana. Are we giving them support to be able to do that? That's a niche which can give a lot of jobs. So an amount of 23.8 billion has been allocated to implement this plan. We're targeting more than 2 million beneficiaries. And these opportunities will run between 12 and 36 months. And the money invested in the plan will be recouped by the UIF through contributions and revenue generated from investment, as has been the established financial sustainability model of the fund. Just imagine, if we manage this 2 million, all these people as they are working, whether you work temporarily or what, you contribute to the UIF. Therefore, the revenue of the UIF is going to be increased, which means more programs we are going to run them because we'll be having more money. Siyanicela ke service providers. Niyibhatale le mali ye-UIF. Liyafika ixesha likaxakeka. Aba bantwana enibatreyinayo bayofika pha bafole pha ku-UIF. Premier, bhatalani imali ye-UIF nalapha kwi-assistant teachers. Ngoba ngexesha likaxakeka bayafola aba bantwana. Iyasincedisa la mali. Ilula mos. The contribution of both the employer and the employee. There is a saying that, or it says, the proof is in the pudding. That delicious part of it is, now I normally say, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So the UIF has proven that it is capable of employing strategic measures, such as the COVID-19 TERS benefits, distributing 64 billion to those millions of the laid-off workers and their families. Whilst we remain financially sound, we went to the actuaries before we were able to withdraw that 15 billion. We just didn't do it. We had to follow a lot of processes going to treasury. I think the TG has said that the spread of our implementation nationally will be across every province with an initial 333 recommended projects to provide training, small enterprise support, and employment opportunities. As a start, we're talking about 704,000 unemployed people. As a start now. Nabo ke abacimba bafumananga ningalili. Sisendleleni utshilo mos uDG. We wanted to kickstart the project. That's what we're doing in all the provinces. Uba ngabe into yakho inomongo ungoyiki sizawufika. Kodwa ngeke si-approve nje. Funeka ibe nomhluzi ivakale bonakala bibhekaphi. Sizaya ke siz-announce. Ningaleli. So collaboration with the provinces, including sharing the database, will assist in the project collaboration, in the recruitment, in funding, in building partnership, and eliminating duplication. And these projects will be monitored at district level to ensure an even spread across the province. This is very important, Comrade Premier. To ensure the even spread, this must be properly monitored. A key benefit to us with this approach is the shared responsibility in managing and monitoring the projects. 33 projects have been recommended for this province, which will cover 56,583 beneficiaries for this budget of 1.9 billion. We've already confirmed the 7 providers. We're still going to confirm a number of them. I'm going to leave it there, but Premier, it's very important to highlight that siyasasika ke sancwela amafutha kwezinye proposals ukwenzela uba sifikelele ebantwini abaninzi sibe ne-reach. Ndiyayazi ke bazawukhala andingeni indawo ke kuloo nto mna. Yeka-DG lo, umhlaba ka-DG lo. But I want to emphasize this. We're partnering with the provincial governments to reinforce accountability and ownership of these projects. We expect from our partners delivery, compliance with contractual obligations, professionalism, quality work, measurable outputs, and impactful interventions. Just to add on what the Premier has said, Premier, there was a question which was asked by the media saying, what safeguards are there that this money will be properly accounted for, or that it is not being siphoned off to corruption, and that we're getting the value for money? We've said, as a starting point, we've instituted a control environment review process across the UIF and the lab, which has assisted us in identifying gaps and recommended compensating controls, enabling a smooth transition towards the implementation of these projects. The second part, which is very critical, is the emphasis on the combined assurance model, which includes, one, the management assurance to ensure that the projects are implemented in line with the agreements and service level agreements. Monitoring and evaluation will visit the projects regularly as part of their work plan to measure the implementation, impact, and delivery. Risk management will do quarterly revisits to the project to test if there are any emerging risks. The reason that we do it quarterly, akufunekanga silinde kude kube late siyobona xa sekuphele unyaka kuba hayi kumoshekile apha. Whereas if we do it on a quarterly basis, first 3 months would be able to see the red flags and say quickly correct this. If I correct again, say withdraw the agreement. So withdraw imali yethu kaloku. This is public money. This is workers' money. So internal audit will include now, for the first time, lab projects audit in their implementation plan with an intention of visiting projects also quarterly. That's another structure. LAP has an oversight structure which reports to this board, which will also visit the projects on a quarterly basis. This project will form part of the acting DG's strategic projects for monthly reporting. The AGSA will be invited to provide assurance, as previously done with the COVID-19. And the third leg is the appointment of independent project management office, which will see to it that everybody complies. Already DG has appointed some official, highly skilled in finances and project management, who will head that PMO, which will be dealing with a number of issues. These are very ambitious plans, but do we have the capacity? The fact that we are interacting with the provinces, the fact that we are interacting with the municipalities, we're adding that capacity. And that's where we're going. The last question which was asked, is this not a political gimmick? You have had 5 years to do this, and yet we get this program on the eve of the elections. What will happen after the 29th May if the ANC does not get 50% and does not control some of the provinces? Will the whole thing just evaporate? Simple response. This program you have heard started in 2008. It has long been there. It has nothing to do with the elections. But everybody knows that. The same year I became a minister of this department, we increased the program to 450,000. But our plans were disturbed also by the COVID. We had to stop everything and focus on the COVID. But after the COVID, we had to refine our plans. And we've refined our plans. Everybody knows government programs, they go with the budget cycle. It's as simple as that. April is the beginning of the budget cycle. So before the elections, during the elections, and even after the elections, even the new administration, the issue of the jobs crisis will be the biggest challenge, and the programs must continue. But I want to close by saying, Comrade Premier, comrade service providers, one and in Biza comrades, please don't disappoint us. Don't disappoint us. If there are problems, the project management office will be there to discuss problems with you. The DG's office is there to discuss that. One of the big projects we're having, Premier, we spent 2.5 years having commissioned EPWC, the audit firm, to do a thorough diagnostic of both the UIF and the compensation fund, because we have not been delivering to the workers as we're supposed to deliver. Now, the DG is in the process of appointing highly skilled people from the private sector. You see, an insurance fund or an insurance company, a medical aid fund, you cannot run it by just normal people along the lines of the department. You need highly skilled people, the accountants, the actuaries. You need IT specialists, cybersecurity people. You need strategy people in the business, and so on and so on. We need those people who are in the process of recruiting such people. Okay, and andiyazi ke diya ke ngoku njengoba nithi masime singaqeshi sizawuthini. Sikhokhelwe nini kaloku thina? Uzayithini le nto mamnoni? Le nto bakuthiwe ungaqeshi uneposi ezingaka. Uzawudiliva njani? Hayi iyawuxoxwa kwamanye amaqonga ke leyo. Kufuneka ixoxiwe, because if we want to go forward, we need skilled people. So that project is starting to clean and professionalize, to look at the systems and the procedures of the UIF and the compensation fund. Bring the right skills, because if we don't do that, we're going nowhere. With those few words, I've declared this program. It's launched officially now. We've given now officially the service providers to start, but we're coming to the other service providers because we must massify. But it doesn't end with this 1.9 billion. After some time, we're going to increase. We're launching in the Free State on Monday. We're in the Eastern Cape, in the Western Cape, day before yesterday and yesterday. KwaZulu-Natal is done, Gauteng is done. We're going to the Free State. We're also going to, is it in Mpumalanga? Mpumalanga next week. Then we're also going to Northwest and Mpumalanga. Then we're going to South Limpopo, Limpopo and Northern Cape. But all of them, nina nikhule ngeli xesha ngasabhala incwadi okanye wawuthi xa ubhalile ubhalele kwela cala ubhalele umuntu wakho usegoli thina amagoduka ubusitsho ngosuthi ndihlandinyuka kweli phepha ndizikhupha zonke izibilini zam umntakwethu xa ugqibayo uthi ngaloo mazwi ndiyaphela apho ndim enkosi
Tatani phone zenu bandla. Or ndishiye khona apha. Hi guys, that round of applause man, I mean, kaniyenzeni kahle man. Okay. Yane. Yazi mina ndinguye ophethe le program ngoku engathi ndizawumane ndishifta. Ladies and gentlemen, in the morning, when I did the introductions, I have not introduced among us the acting Premier and Minister, the acting CDPO wethu walapha ePhondweni. CDPO is Chief Director, Provincial Operations, umama uNobuko Ngaki, ukhoyo apha nama officials wakhe wonke wasePhondweni. You are acknowledged, madam, so ungathi sikuvalela ngaphandle. She's standing in for CDPO, Sis Nomfundo Dojek, who's on leave as we speak. But we thank you. Under normal circumstances, you are supposed to have shared this stage with me to co-chair the program. But Zayolungisa next time. Also, I want, before we go to the vote of thanks, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to overemphasize the fact that, Premier, these projects are not for BCM. Abantu bazawucinga ukuthi zase Buffalo City. The project for the entirety of the province. So, that is why naku program yethu siphethe umama ubuke lwa umadikani lo obuya eMathole district uzozenzela I vote of thanks later nyana, because ndicela ukuthi siyenze a short video clip apha nibone nje umsebenzi osuwenzayo through lab programs. I'm sure nani new service providers, as you do your work, you'll be able to copy what this short clip is intending to do. So ndicela nidlale ke, it's less than 5 minutes. So please masidlaleni ke bandla.
My name is Vanessa. I'm from Pretoria, born in Mpumalanga. I would have never dreamt of being a pilot. My dreams have come true because of the Thulas Nxesi Academy. Never be afraid of believing in yourself. One day, I will fly for a big commercial airline. I know it. I love being in the sky, close to the clouds and looking down at the world.
My name is Thulas Nxesi. I'm from Pietermaritzburg, born in Provincial. I've been with Thulas Nxesi since 2018. This is my dream to help other students see them learn and get better. Maybe one day they will also be instructors. My dreams have come true because of Thulas Academy. Never be afraid, believe in yourself.
Through the UIF Labour Activation Program, the Thulas Academy has been able to change the lives of many South Africans. Thulas addressing critical skills and job creation in our country.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the work that we do as Department of Employment and Labor through UIF's labor activations. That is why wherever we go with the board members, so that they also see the work that they do. They must not hear it. They must see this is what is been happening. It's not fake. Some people think that we are faking this thing. So we wanted just to showcase this thing. Mphathiswa, as I'm calling upstage, MMC, we Corporate and Human Resource Management, Councillor Bukelwa Madikani from Amatole District to come and do a vote of thanks. But ukuti kasi pumayo Singalibali ukugqitha pha kuma stalls because asiyenzanga ekseni. So sizawuza kuni emastoleni. And by the way, ne breakfast ikhona, but ngoku ayisasi breakfast is a brunch or lunch already because I breakfast seyigqithile, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Kuthiwa kuzawubakho i-photo opportunity nama beneficiaries. Abantu abasana uthola izinto or I don't know, ama beneficiaries or ama service providers mara kuthiwa beneficiaries. So bazawus director ke ukuthi what needs to be done. Thank you so much. Mna owami umsebenzi uphelela apha mama. The stage is yours. So you are not me, you are between us and ukudleni kwethu.
Obekekileyo uminister Obekekileyo uminister utata uThulas Nxesi. Upremier weliphondo utata Oscar Mabuyana. Deputy ministers, members of the parliament, oceba, most importantly abahlali abalapha bezokuphefumlelana nenkokheli zabo abazinike uxanduva lokuba zikhokhele uphuhliso kwizigaba ngezigaba zorhulumente. NdinguCouncillor Bukelwa Madikane uMamzangwe, MMC for Corporate Services. Dilapha ngokuthunywa kusodolophu wase-Amathole obekekileyo utata uAnele Untsangane ukuze ndibe ndiyamela kwaye ndimcelele ixolo ngokungaphumeleli ubambeke kweminye imisebenzi yorhulumente. Mphathiswa mandiqale ngawe kuqala. Siyabulela ukuthi kwinzima ezikhoyo zoqoqosho kwihlabathi lonke kodwa wenze inzame zokugxotha ikati eziko. Siluluntu lwase-Amathole siyazibona inzame nemigudu karhulumente kwaye senza ongazenzisiyo umbulelo. Siyathemba ukuba abantu abakhoyo apha bazithathile ii-notes kwaye bazokuxelela nabanye ukuze sinciphise izinga lentswelangqesho kule ndawo sihlala kuyo. Premier wethu okhokhele eliphondo ngokuthunywa yi-African National Congress. Imitsi yakho ekuphuhliseni koluntu lweliphondo siyayibulela. Siyayazi ukuba eliphondo lethu alinamagodi namalahle njengamanye amaphondo. Kodwa thina sizingca ngomhlaba nolwandle. Sikubonile Premier wethu ukuquzela uvula izikolo, indawo zoqoqosho, ibhulorho njalo njalo. Sinelunda nange-investments ozitsalela kweli phondo lethu. Oceba abathunywe ngumbutho olawulayo banikwe uxanduva olukhulu ngabantu. Ndiyanibulela ngokwenza loo misebenzi ngentembeko nangokuzithoba. Abahlali abakhoyo nabangekhoyo, urhulumente okhekelwe yi-African National Congress uyabulela ngenkxaso. Ukuza kuxoxa neenkokheli zabo, ukuthetha ngokuthembekileyo ukuze alungise apho athe wagqithiza khona. Ngaloo mazwi ndiyanibulela nihambe kakuhle. Enkosi.
Masibulele Deputy Minister wethu Pinky Boitumelo Moloi ngokusiqhubela le program. Sikubulise